enough about the Yacht Club, enough about the Mavericks event. I will turn this over to Sabrina to take care of business.
So hi everyone, thank you for coming today. And I wanted to start by, can you hear me okay? Yes. Okay, great. Thanking some volunteers and family supporters, that sort of thing. I can't hit everybody, so if I miss you, please accept my deep apology. But I'll just try to go over sort of the short list here of people that helped me out during my campaign. And it was about 3 months of not a lot of sleep. And those of you who have done it before know what it's like. I had done it once before, but not successfully. So I decided to do it a little bit differently this time. And it was pretty much around the clock. And I got a lot of great help from people. So first of all, I'd like to mention Amy Luthringer, and that's my wife. With the long hours and didn't see a whole lot of me during that time. And then of course my mom was a huge help. Where's Lee Fernandez? There she is. And my dad is here today from Dauphin Island, Alabama, and he was helpful, very helpful to me during the campaign. And his name is Tom Brennan, and he's back there. And then my sister, my little sister, Nissa Brennan. And my brother, Jonah Brennan, who couldn't be here today. He's working on his boat in San Diego. And my Aunt Sarah Voorhees. Jessie, my cousin, there she is. Her husband John and her daughter Zoe and her other daughter Jasmine. And then for volunteers, I'd like to first mention Ray Toby, who's sitting up front. They helped me with campaign strategy and data crunching and just everything you could possibly imagine. He was a wonderful help to me, and we've spent many late nights on the phone till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning working out details, and it just was incredible, so thank you. Then we've got campaign manager, Lee Ingdahl. Where's Lee? There he is. He did phone banking, and he really inspired me to keep going. He would show up at my house uninvited, knocking on my door just to check in and make sure I was doing something related to the campaign. So that was great. And then James Lee, who's here today. Where's James? James helped me with... So James wrote press releases, he did phone banking, he got volunteers together, he did precinct walking, and other stuff I can't remember. And then we had Emily, who I don't think is here today, and she did precinct walking and phone banking. And Yvonne, who did design, he helped with the signage design and door hanger artwork. And at the end of the campaign, he kind of switched gears because he got offered a job working for Metallica as a metal band. So I don't know exactly what he's doing for them, but it sounded pretty exciting to me. And then his mom, Nani, and also stepdad, Michael Powers, were also incredibly helpful. And you guys, many of you probably know them from the Tsunami Rangers and the really interesting house that's on the coastal trail in Miramar, and they really helped get the word out on the coast side as well as over the hill, so I appreciate their support. And then Florian Brody was an early supporter. There he is in the yellow scarf. He helped me develop early campaign strategy, which was great and useful and helpful. And Karen Anderson right here, helped me with phone banking, and she had a yard sign up, and Karen's also a candidate for the Coastside Fire Protection District, which is a election. And Charlotte helped me with photography. We've got Sean. Sean's not here today. Joseph's here. Joseph, where are you? Back there. Oh, with the camera. Thank you, Joseph. And Sloop, who worked at the San Gregorio store in the weekends and helped get the word out to people that were there to vote for me. I appreciate that. And Tom, where's Tom? Yep, Tom's right here. Tom was awesome. And he did phone banking. He picked up my postcards in San Jose and delivered them, and this was fantastic. And then I've got a long list. I don't want to keep going, but I think what I'll do now is I'd like to recognize the elected representatives that we have in the room. So if you're an elected representative, if you could maybe we could have you guys raise your hand and sort of go around and introduce yourselves. Just maybe kind of stand up and say your name. If you're an elected or a past elected representative, and maybe we could start with Don Horsley because he's right in front of me. I know there's a lot for you.
Catherine Slater-Carter from Montero Water.
Erickson, the Midcoast Community Council.
I'm Jenny McShane, and I'm on the Coastside Fire Protection District Board.
Gina Pappen, Mayor of Millbrae.
Anybody else?
Gail Erickson, not a senator.
Thank you.
Douglas Gonzalez, Mayor of the City of South San Francisco.
Dan Haggerty, Midcoast Community Council.
I'm Dave Pine, the Board of Supervisors.
Come on now.
Okay, Roy Salumi, former school board, former grand jury. No bar? No bar?
Did we miss anybody?
Debbie Ruddick, former
Oh,
former
Debbie,
mayor.
that's right. All right, did we get everybody? No. Mike?
Oh, okay. Mike Ferrer, former mayor.
That's you here, someone else stand up.
Oh, come on, everybody.
Everybody, Betty Schultz, I'm former Granada Sanitary District Director.
Pollard, Granada Sanitary District. Okay, so did we leave anybody out? All right. And there are a few candidates in the room, so if the candidates could stand up or, wave to everybody and introduce yourselves, that'd be great. I see Karen over here.
I'm Karen Anderson, and I'm going to be running against Mike Alafano in the recall for the CFPD board. Thank you very much. Anyone who would like to volunteer on our campaigns, there will be 3 of us running. Please stop by and see me so I can get your email address and add you to our Yahoo group for volunteers. We need you, we need you. Thank you.
Harvey Warbeck, I'm running with Karen for the recall. I'm running against Gary Riddell for the fire board.
Street, and hopefully this won't take very long, and then I'm going to introduce Dave Pine, and then we're going to do the oath of office, so we're going to keep it moving here. So this weekend is Martin Luther King weekend, and Martin Luther King Day is on Monday. That's a really special day for me, for many reasons. And as many of you probably know, I grew up in Mobile, Alabama, and I moved to California after I finished college. And Martin Luther King is an important person in my life, partly because of the fact that I grew up in the South, but I also really appreciate what he shared with our country. And then I also think it ties into this weekend being Barack Obama's big weekend. So he's going to become our president again, and that's very exciting for me, and I'm very happy about that. So to be able to have my oath of office that weekend is especially special. So I can't really hold this mic and read, so maybe somebody can hold it for me. That'd be great. Okay, so I'm going to read from the book Strength to Love, which is a Martin Luther King Jr. book. And I'm going to start with the foreword, which was written by Coretta Scott King. And this book was published in 1963. Her foreword was written in 1981. When I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, when I was going to college, I was fortunate to actually meet Coretta Scott King and to hear her speak. So this book best explains the central element of Martin Luther King Jr.'s philosophy of nonviolence. In his sermon, "The Man Who Was a Fool," he said, "All men are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied to a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be." Martin Luther King Jr.'s theoretical belief in interdependence and all life inevitably led to the methods for social change that dignified the humanity of the social change advocate as well as his adversary. Christ gave us the goals, he would often say, and Gandhi provided the tactics. And then I'm going to read a short section from a chapter entitled "On Being a Good Neighbor." In our nation today, a mighty struggle is taking place. It is a struggle to conquer the reign of an evil monster called segregation and its inseparable twin called discrimination. A monster that has wandered through this land for nearly 100 years, stripping millions of people of their sense of dignity and robbing them of their birthright of freedom. Let us never succumb to the temptation of believing that legislation and judicial decrees play only minor roles in solving this problem. Morality cannot be legislated, but behavior can be regulated. Judicial decrees may not change the hearts, but they can restrain the heartless. The law cannot make an employer love an employee, but it can prevent him from refusing to hire me. The habits, if not the hearts of people, have been and are being altered every day by legislative acts, judicial decisions, and executive orders. Let us not be misled by those who argue that segregation cannot be ended by the force of law. A vigorous enforcement of civil rights laws will bring an end to segregated public facilities which are barriers to a truly desegregated society, but it cannot bring an end to fears, prejudice, pride, and irrationality, which are the barriers to a truly integrated society. These dark and demonic responses will be removed only as men and women possessed by the invisible inner law which etches on their hearts the conviction that all men are brothers and sisters and that love is mankind's most potent weapon for personal and social transformation. True integration will be achieved by true neighbors who are willingly obedient to unenforceable obligations. More than ever before, my friends, men and women of all races and nations are today challenged to be neighborly. Appreciate that, Dave, you're here today and that you're going to be swearing me in. That means a lot to me. And I'm going to hand the mic over to you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure and honor to have this opportunity to swear in Sabrina Brennan. You know, there are two big events happening this weekend. There's one tomorrow, doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it comes in quickly with a lot of force. Of course, that's the Mavericks. And the second big event, Sabrina Brennan joining the Harbor District. And likewise, it is not often that a person like Sabrina joins a board here on the coast, on the Harbor District. You will come in and do remarkable work. We are so fortunate to have someone of Sabrina's intelligence and willingness to work hard, her ability to reach out to the community, which is just extraordinary, and most importantly, her passion for the coast, for the bay, for improving these incredible unique assets we have. So we're very fortunate, Sabrina, that you're joining the board, and we're looking forward to all your good works. So I have the pledge, and start that. And you can repeat after me. So if you could raise your right hand, please.
I, Sabrina Brennan,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.